The house was too quiet. I dropped my bag by the door, noticed the lights were dim, and the usual scent of dinner wasn't in the air. That's when I saw her, Emily, sitting at the edge of the couch, hands clasped tightly in her lap like she'd been rehearsing something all day. She didn't say hi, didn't smile, just stared at the floor. "Hey," I said cautiously, sensing something was off. "Everything okay?" She looked up slowly, eyes already red. "Cole, I need to confess something." My stomach sank. I didn't know why, but I knew whatever was coming next would change everything. I stayed silent. She exhaled like she'd been holding it in for hours. "I've been keeping something from you, and I can't do it anymore." I didn't sit down. I couldn't. My legs locked, my brain went blank. "It started a few months ago," she continued. "It wasn't supposed to. I never planned for it to go that far. At first, it was just someone to talk to." Still, I said nothing. "His name is Jason. I met him at that weekend photography workshop I took in March." Her voice cracked slightly. "He was kind, and he listened, really listened." I felt my pulse start to climb, heat rushing to my face. "I didn't mean to let it happen, Cole. I promise I didn't go looking for it." "You're saying you cheated on me." My voice barely sounded like my own. She shook her head quickly, then stopped. "Not then." "Not at first, but it didn't stop at just feelings." My heart thudded hard. I could hear it in my ears. I took a step back, needing space, air, anything. She kept going. I kept telling myself it wasn't serious, that it was just emotional, that I could pull away before it got worse. I laughed once, bitter and short. "But you didn't." "No," she whispered. My throat tightened. I thought of all the nights she came home late from editing sessions, the times she seemed distracted during dinner, the way she started dressing up more, wearing perfume again. "You've been lying to me." "I hated myself for it," she said, looking at me for the first time since starting. I knew I was destroying everything, but I didn't know how to stop, and by the time I did, I was already in too deep. I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask a million questions, but nothing came out, just silence. She wiped her eyes, then added, "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just couldn't live with the lie anymore. You deserve to know the truth." I looked at her, the woman I married, the person I thought I knew better than anyone, and I realized in that moment I didn't know her at all. Then she said it. It didn't stop at just feelings, Cole. My mouth went dry. I wanted to interrupt her, tell her to stop talking, but I stood there frozen, listening to every word like it was a sentence being read out loud in a courtroom. "We kissed," she said. "Twice. The second time, it didn't end there." A hollow pressure settled in my chest. I looked at her and saw a stranger wearing my wife's face. "You slept with him." She didn't answer. Didn't need to. Her silence confirmed everything. "How long?" I asked. My voice sounded steady, but I was anything but. "It lasted a few weeks," she said, eyes down. "It wasn't ongoing. It didn't turn into anything real. It just—" "Don't," I cut her off. "Don't try to make this sound smaller than it is." "I'm not," she said quickly. "I know how bad it is. I know I destroyed something that mattered. I know I hurt you." I laughed under my breath. It wasn't funny, but my body didn't know what else to do. "Why him?" She shook her head. "He was present, that's all. He noticed me. He asked questions. He made me feel like I mattered again. I'm not blaming you. I'm just telling you where my head was." "You could have talked to me." "I did," she whispered. "But you didn't hear me. You were always working, always distracted. It was like I lived with a ghost, and when Jason looked at me, I felt seen. I didn't want to hear this. I didn't want to hear that I'd somehow participated in my own betrayal. So that gave you permission to crawl into someone else's bed? No, she said immediately. I don't have any excuses. I'm just telling you how it happened. I didn't plan to cross that line. It just happened. And once it did, I couldn't undo it. How many times? I asked, even though I didn't want the answer. Twice? And you ended it? She nodded. Over a month ago, I cut contact. I told him it was wrong, that I was married, that I couldn't keep lying to you. I stared at her for a long time. Do you love him? That question hung in the air like a bomb. I don't know, she admitted. I don't think so. It wasn't about love. It was about feeling something again. You could have destroyed our life for what? A few weeks of feeling seen? I know. The silence in the room screamed louder than anything. I felt sick. I felt like every day for the last 8 years had been erased in a moment. And yet, part of me wasn't surprised. The signs were there, scattered across the past few months like warnings I chose to ignore. I was going to take this to my grave, she said quietly. But I couldn't live with myself if I did. I didn't say a word. I just walked out of the room because if I stayed another second, I wasn't sure what might come out of me. That's all she said when I asked if she loved him. I stood in the kitchen, staring at nothing, hearing everything. You don't know, I repeated, quieter this time. So what were we then? What the hell were we? Her voice trembled. I was lost, Cole. I felt like I was disappearing, and I grabbed the first thing that made me feel alive again. You keep saying feel. You felt invisible, you felt alone, you felt seen. What about what you did? What about what you broke? I know what I did. I'm not denying it. You think this is just about you being lonely? I snapped. You think I haven't felt that too? You think I didn't notice the distance between us? She looked up at me, surprised. I felt it for over a year, I said, quieter now, but I didn't go sleeping with someone to fix it. Tears filled her eyes, but I didn't stop. I worked my arse off, Emily. I stayed late, pushed harder because I thought I was doing it for us, for a future. And now you're telling me I was just giving you the perfect excuse to find someone else. No, she whispered. I'm telling you I was broken, and I didn't ask for help. And now what? You expect me to just be okay with this? You want me to say thank you for being honest? No, she said again. I just wanted you to know. I needed you to hear it from me, not find out some other way. I walked over to the side table, picked up the framed photo of us on our wedding day. We looked so sure, so untouchable. I threw it, not at her, just at the floor. Glass shattered. She flinched. That's how it feels, I said coldly, like everything we built just shattered. I never stopped loving you, she said, almost choking on the words. Even when I was doing the worst thing I could have done to you, I still loved you. I didn't respond. My hands were shaking. I ended it because I realized none of it meant anything compared to what I was risking. I came clean because I want to fix this. If there's any chance of saving us. Don't talk about saving anything yet, I said, voice sharp. You don't get to choose that anymore. She nodded slowly, defeated. I'll do whatever it takes. I sat down. For the first time, my legs gave in. I don't even know who we are anymore. Neither do I, she admitted. I looked at her, puffy eyes, hands trembling, face pale with guilt, and I hated how much I still wanted to believe we weren't over. But the betrayal hung in the air like smoke, and I couldn't breathe through it yet. I need space, I said. I need to think, alone. She didn't argue, she just nodded, and I walked out the door. A week passed. I hadn't answered any of her texts, not even the ones that just said, please. I stayed at my brother's, mostly quiet, barely sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face when she said it, when she told me the truth that split our life into before and after. I kept asking myself if I could forgive her, if I even wanted to. I didn't want to be the man who stayed because he was afraid to start over, but I also didn't want to be the man who threw away 8 years because of 2 nights. I read her letter on the 5th day. There's no version of this where I come out innocent. I know I broke you. I broke us. I don't expect forgiveness, but I want you to know I still believe in us. And I will spend every day proving I can be better if you let me. I didn't cry. I didn't feel relief, just silence. But it was the first time her words didn't feel like knives. I went to the park, the one we used to go to before life got complicated. I sat on our old bench and remembered her laugh, the way she'd kick off her shoes in the grass. I thought about how fast love can fade when no one's watering it. We both let the roots dry out. She made a choice, one I didn't deserve, but we both helped create the distance. The hardest part wasn't the cheating. It was realizing how far we'd drifted without even noticing. When I finally walked through the front door, she was there, not crying, not begging, just waiting. She didn't speak first. I did. I'm not here to forgive you, not yet, and I don't know what happens next. She nodded. I understand. I can't pretend this didn't happen. I can't go back to who I was before. I don't want you to, she said softly. I just want the chance to show you who I can be now. I sat down. No hugs, no resolution, just silence. After a while, I said, I don't trust you right now. I know. But I still love you, and I hate that I do. I wish I didn't. She closed her eyes, tears falling without sound. This isn't a reset, I told her. This is a long road, and if I even get halfway down it and realize I can't do it, I'm gone. I'll take every step, she said. We didn't say anything else. We just sat. Not as a couple, not yet. Not as enemies either. Just 2 people sitting in the wreckage of what they built, wondering if they could rebuild something worth staying for. And somehow, in the quiet, I didn't feel completely lost anymore, just broken, but not alone.